What's going down, YouTube? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing great as usual. I missed you guys. Man, listen, guys, this video is going to be a pretty short one as well. I do want to talk about the overall experience with these two TVs here. And I do want to speak more out of, um, you know, picture quality and the things that we normally speak about on my channel here, which is picture quality, mostly game mode settings and things like that. And what, I see in those, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. But I do have this really cool demo playing in the background. It's just like a 4K demo that is copyright um, free. So I thought it was really cool because I was just like, been using this particular demo for just analyzing these two TVs and specifically color, things like that. And I mean, it is pretty amazing, but I will talk about that. So, anyways, guys, what's really cool about these two TVs is that they definitely have some serious differences between them, but at the same time, be very similar in a lot of other ways. And it's just interesting as an owner of these two TVs and have the privilege to own them and use them to actually just notice their different approaches as an enthusiast. And again, you guys know I'm not a professional, so I hate, repeating myself, but for a lot of people who don't really watch my videos or don't really or follow me or are not subscribed, you're you'll know that if you do watch like my videos in the past, I state that all the time. I'm definitely not a professional. I'm just an enthusiast. I happen to own these TVs and I just like to really share my experience with them. And I can tell you guys that it is definitely a pleasure owning both these TVs here, guys. It really, really is. I have the 77-inch LG G4 on the left, and I have the 77-inch Samsung S90D on the right. And I gotta tell you guys, man, it's hard to explain, but you just no matter which one you go with, like 99% sure you're going to be extremely happy with whatever you pick because they are both amazing TVs. Um, so I just wanted to first talk about basically the hardware of these TVs here. The 77 inch in the US, it sucks because it doesn't come with a stand. For me personally, I'm more of a stand person, and I don't like to put my TVs on the wall. Whether I'm doing videos or not doing videos, I just normally don't do that. If I do, it might be like, I used to have another house where I had one on a wall, a smaller TV above the fireplace, and I really just did that for aesthetics. I didn't really do that, you know, for any other reason. I barely even was in that room, things like that. But that was really the only good place to put it because of the layout of that living room. Um, and I normally have always put my TV on an entertainment stand. I always just thought it looked way better. And for me personally, it always gave me a better experience of whatever I was doing, whether watching movies, um, just playing video games. I like to kind of sit more at eye level than like a fireplace. So I always put them 95% of the time on a entertainment center, TV stand, whatever you want to call it. I just put them on those. Um, I do have the A95L up in my room on the wall. And I will say for that room, again, just like for the living room, that was the best thing to do to get a better experience as far as viewing the TV. It was just if you're laying down, you want the TV a little bit further away from you. A little high is just fine. Um, and it's a nice big TV, so I can adjust my bed as well to make it really comfortable and watch that TV in a really good room that has really good sound graphing. And it is an awesome experience. So my favorite TV is in my bedroom, of course, and that's where the A95L sits, and it has a really good surround connection to it, and it's all the same ecosystem with Sony, so I love it. It is definitely the best experience personally with sound and picture quality I've ever had in my entire life. I do have to say that. Um, but these two TVs here, guys, the hardware version of them, that's what kind of aggravates me about the stand. The S90D, I like the fact that it has a stand and it's a center pedestal, which is awesome. Huge points for that. The only thing is, it definitely, definitely feels a lot on the cheap side. And I understand it's the S90D. I don't even know if the S95D has either the same stand or is it a metal stand. I honestly haven't paid attention to that. So you guys will know more than I do for all the S95D fans out there. I'm also an S95D fan too, but definitely not a fan enough to purchase it with that matte finish. And that's a whole other discussion. And I know that most people say they don't even notice the TV is that good. And honestly, I kind of regret buying the S95D because I did kind of want to experience it, but at the same time, I just rather had saved the money at that point. So the S90D is definitely a one of the best TVs out there in the world. The S90D, man, guys, there's people that are saying it's better than the S95D. That's how good this TV is, and I can see definitely why, even though I never personally owned the S95D. That glossy finish just brings out the picture really well. So I really like the fact that it does have the gloss finish to it as a QD OLED. I think is definitely more clear. Definitely can bring out sharpness a little bit better. And yeah, you might have to deal with reflections with lights and stuff shining, but at the same time, in a dark room like this, you guys, I'm telling you, for people who like watching in a dark room, and I know there's millions of us out there like that, it is definitely the the nicest, clearest, like it has this weird sharpness to it that I just never seen before. It's like tack sharp, and it definitely does bring out that three-dimensional look. It helps a lot. I just feel like the edge enhancements like that they're using is still not as good as the G4s. But with that being said, sorry, I don't mean to change the subject too much. Um, the overall weight of the two TVs, I mean, obviously the G4 is gonna feel heavier. It is harder to hold. Probably hurts your hands more when you're moving around. Most people don't care about that because it's kind of like you set it and forget it. The next time you move that TV would probably be another, 3 to 4 to 5 years average. And, it's just not that big of a deal. As far as the overall build quality goes between these two TVs, I gotta obviously give it to the LG G4. I just feel like with the LG G4 that they definitely know how to build a very good quality TV, and it definitely gets underestimated more than it should. They should be recognized for that a lot more than they do. I will tell you, you know, I have a lot of LG product that I personally own, and their TVs are probably the best or most reliable product that I ever bought from them. They definitely win the reliability department, and they have the best warranty in the market, pretty much. Coming directly from LG, so that's cool too. because that's definitely a symbol of standing by their products in the short and long run. And Samsung doesn't have that, Sony doesn't have that, TCL, Hisense, nobody has anything like that. Only LG does. And the crazy part is they make probably the highest end TV you'll ever have in your entire house. That's how good the build quality is of LG. Now, it's not perfect, but when you start comparing it and make relative comparisons, um, you will definitely notice that LG is no joke when it comes to the build quality of their TVs. I've had them for years. They just keep going. They're extremely reliable. Yeah, they're not perfect. There are obviously reports out there. Um, but when it comes to like build quality and things like that, you got to give it to LG for sure. Samsung's S90D is not that bad. Like, I really do think that the overall build quality has improved since the S95B, but it's just like I like how every year you can actually see their improvements, which is really cool. It's like a progress, not only with picture quality, but also build quality. I do feel like for some reason, even though most people say or will tell you that Samsung doesn't listen to their customers and to their complaints, I think like maybe for the most part with like their lower end TVs, they don't pay as much attention. But I do think like maybe, yeah, it might take a year or two, maybe even 5 years in certain things to really catch up and make their changes according to what their consumers are saying. But I do feel like they pay closer attention to what the consumer is saying on their higher end TVs because they really do want that recognition of being the best looking TV out there. They seem to me like they go through longer strides to make sure that they have their like niche in the market, with that crazy color blasting that they do. Now they have amazing sharpness, as you can tell. Um, and It's basically, just their way of telling you this is why we make the best TVs in the world and nobody else can do this but us. Their color is amazing. Um, so I feel like, their build quality is getting better. Their QD OLED technology is getting better. You're starting to see really sharp and smartly placed highlights, showing details and things like that. Like color gradation. Their black levels are amazing. Their panels are near perfect. And it's just you definitely see that. And the crazy part is not only can they do that and nobody else can do it better, but at the same time they're doing it at a lower price point, so it's kind of like a no-brainer at that point. So that's why I had to go with the S90D this year around. It truly is a, a work of art in that manner. So I'm glad that their build quality is getting better. I'm glad that it seems like they're paying attention or becoming better in picture quality, just refining things. And their color has always been there, and now their color, just their experience with color and TV in combination with QD OLED technology. I mean, it's just like, how can you compete? You know what I mean? Um, Now, on the other hand, is LG still has the edge in processing, which I will get into as well. But yeah, so physically, guys, as far as the build quality goes, um, for I feel like just no matter what, it will always be LG. Like I think even the LG G3, if I remember correctly, I think that even that TV was built better than the A95L as far as its physical look to it, build quality, the materials that they used. Like that LG's TV was built more heavy duty and like just more solid. Like it was just built like a tank, but a very luxurious tank. It was amazing, and they still do that now with the G4. Um, so yeah, as far as the controller goes, guys, again, I've been using the LG controller, the Magic Remote. since pretty much 2017. So it's basically almost 2025 at this point, and I'm so used to it. I don't really complain about it. Like, yeah, I can feel its age, but that is also in turn like something that you appreciate. Like, they don't change it, it's the same. So like that's like a sign of them saying, for all you LG like users who are, familiar with LG and you have a loyalty to us, like that's almost like recognition and saying like, this is for you guys. Like, we're not going to change everything because we know how good the remote is and it works. And we know how familiar you are with it. So that's why it's been the same for so long. I feel like that. And, you know, I feel like, of course, they can change the remote whenever they feel like it. They're just not. So my guess is that when they come out with a new TV technology, um, they might, come up with a new remote, or if they come up with a whole new model that with a whole new technology that we never even thought of, that they just came from left field. They could do that too. But who knows? They might change the remote next model year, and it'll be completely different. And we're gonna probably hear complaints that it's not as good as the old model. The old model was the old faithful and things like that. And then people are gonna start feeling it at that point, and it'll be too late. You never know. But at the same time, it works, guys. It's easy to use. Um, Especially if you've had this same remote for as long as I have, even 5 years, you still know it. It's reliable and it's there. Yeah, it does suck. It doesn't have a backlight. I mean, come on, LG. Like, what's that cost you? Pennies? Like, it's just like ridiculous. Um, it should just be familiar. You know what I mean? Um, Samsung remote is easy to use. It's snappy. I love it. You know, a- it's definitely been improved even over, 2 years ago. Oh, I guess I gotta hide that. But I don't know like what you guys think about that either, because at the same time, if you're like set it and forget it type of person, then the remote is probably going to be easier for you if you just go with the Samsung product. They've always been a little bit on the easier side. Not the fastest or the snappiest, but definitely usable on the easy side to navigate through. Now I just feel like the remotes are so easy to use, and they're a lot more snappier. So like they are definitely the easiest to use, but at the same time, when you start getting to like the software, and basically the that part where you have to like learn your settings and things like that. You know, the intuitive capability of an LG is just like unmatched. You know what I mean? Like you can fine tune it so well, and I just think that that's a whole different argument there, but it's just how it is. So, like I said, you probably, if you're like a set it and forget it type of person, you're probably just gonna go with the Samsung anyways, and you got an amazing TV if you go with the S90D. At least in my personal opinion, it's really cool and it's a pleasure to have. I love it. Um, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to get too more into it, like the UI systems and stuff. Just, I'm used to both of them. I don't really care. I don't use the UI systems too much, unless I navigate through either the settings or, the HDMI ports. I don't really mess around too much with apps and everything like that built into the TV. I have the PS5 for that, and it works 100 times better. At least you still get a little bit more power in the processing from the PS5 that can send it to your TV, and the picture looks better. Um, and that's just how it is for me at that point, especially on Apple TV through the PS5. I think it's just like so beautiful. Um, So yeah, but that's like basically how I feel, kind of, speaking of as an owner of the TVs. When it comes to like your overall picture quality and settings, guys, I mean, look at how beautiful they both look. I do have my personal settings in here. So like, I always tweak them and things like that. But I mean, guys, I gotta give the contrast definitely to the S90D over the LG, when it comes to that part of the processing. But again, this is a personal opinion because I definitely like my blacks more inky, and like I think the S90D can natively do that better. And when you tweak the settings, it makes it, you can definitely make it look even better again. Um, and I think it just definitely has the edge. I think, especially in like darker content, but specifically HDR, I do feel that you know the LG definitely has like the edge in like 3D or three dimensionality. It just is something about the way it naturally can grab a picture, bring out the details, and make it look more 3D. And then, especially when it's like something in like slow motion, it just looks real. Like it literally looks real. But the other magical part about the S90D is just the color, guys. Like it, there's nothing like it. It's crazy. It could be a 5% difference. I mean, they look like really close now, but I'm telling you, in person, it is the the reason why uh, a 3D image can look more 3D in an S90D over the LG G4 is because of the color. Like there's scenes like this that we're looking at right now, these like high CGI scenes, or movies that look similar to these types of graphics that we're watching now. Um, like high end or Transformers or something like that, Avatar. Um, Nothing can compete with the QD OLED when it comes to movies like that. And if you're like a big fan of those movies, man, and those movies are awesome. They get color, it makes the color pop. Oh man, the S90D is a different animal within its own right. Like, yeah, you might lose some processing and motion and things like that, but you got to remember, not all content is like 100% the whole way like that. There's going to be scenes that just blow you away in the S90D that just the LG G4, because of the older WOLED technology, can't do. You know what I mean? And you're starting to see that transition into like the future of image and color. Is bringing it to a whole different world. And the crazy part is that as the QD OLED technology progresses, it's going to learn how to have a more three-dimensional look by processing, just like the G4 is going to improve, it's going to get better, and it's going to be the best of both worlds. You're going to get the best of what WOLED can offer, and you're going to get better processing, um, more details, fine details, and you're going to get that kind of like realistic 3D overall look that WOLED provided. It's going to be like an all-in-one, and it's going to be amazing, guys. The future is good, regardless of how they handle it and how they do it. It's bright and it's beautiful. But that's just the way I see it. Um, you know, it's up to you guys which one you prefer. I mean, at this point, we're getting towards the end of the year. These are going to be outgoing TVs, and whoever gets any of these TVs secondhand, barely used, from somebody, and let's say they just wanted to upgrade into the new model year, like like I do, or a lot of us YouTubers and enthusiasts do. Man, you got a take that TV that is a steal. Whatever they sell it for to you, take it, because it's just a beautiful experience. It's like it's like changing, just kind of like life changing the way these TVs look, especially if you haven't had a new TV in 5 years or longer. Man, it'll be like a whole other world. So, but anyways, guys, yeah, let me know what you think. It's getting to that point. What do you guys think about a lot of things going on right now in the TV world? Everyone's just kind of like talking about what's going to be next year and things like that already. So I'm excited about that. But either way, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.